Welcome to the Vida Rosa. I'm your host Pinky, and today we're going to be talking about The Ultimatum Season 2, Episode 1. So if you'd like to see more, then just stay tuned. But before we begin, I would like for everyone to check out my website, LaVidaRosaStyle.com, where you can find cute accessories like the ones I'm wearing right now. Like, comment, and subscribe. Without further ado, let's get into this video. So I don't think I reviewed the last season, but I did watch it. I've seen all the ultimatums. And I still stand firm in the fact that I think this is a dumb idea and this is done strictly for TV. I personally feel like if you end up on a show like this where you have to give your partner an ultimatum, y'all just need to break up, because one doesn't respect the other. Even if you love that person, even if that person really loves you, you're not getting what you need out of this situation. You want to get married and this person is not willing to do that with you, leave. I would be too embarrassed to be basically begging someone to marry me. Anyway, we have Nick Lachey and his wife, Vanessa, once again. Y'all know how I feel about Vanessa in particular, but I think both of them created this show or came up with the premise of the show, so it makes more sense that they are hosts on this one as opposed to Love is Blind. What I thought was hilarious is that in the beginning, they literally admitted that scientists say that an ultimatum is an unhealthy way to get your way in your relationship. At least you're putting it to the forefront that this show is toxic, okay? Another thing that threw me off about the contestants on this show, I would think everybody was like in their 20s at least. Like everybody was in their early 20s, which we do have a few people here that are, but a lot of people are my age, like in their early 30s, and I'm just like, y'all too grown for this. Y'all are too grown for all this drama. Oh my goodness. I'm just going to go ahead and introduce all the couples. Roxanne is 31, Antonio is 30, and they have been together for 4 years, and he is the one that is giving the ultimatum. She doesn't even know if she believes in marriage, even though her parents have been married for 30 some odd years. She still doesn't know if she believes in marriage. She is very much so like a workaholic, someone that works all the time from morning to night. And when you're an entrepreneur, work never really stops. You kind of work all hours of the day. And she thinks that he is not ambitious enough, but she also feels like he's not romantic enough. He doesn't take her out on dates. Even if we just have like a peace and sunset type of thing, she wants him to make an effort when it comes to that. He is putting the pressure on her to get married. He said he's leaving her at the end of this if they don't get engaged. And I don't know. I feel like Roxanne and these overlying lips know deep down inside that this is not the man for her. And that's the reason why she's not even really entertaining the idea of marriage. And a part of me feels like he wants to lock her down because he knows she's going to be making that money, okay? She's just the type of woman, she going to be rolling in the dough. Then we have Ryan, who's 24, and James, who's 23. They have been together for 7 years. Ever since they were 16, they were high school sweethearts. She is issuing him the ultimatum. He comes up with all these excuses as to why he doesn't want to get married yet. He wants to get done with school. He wants to have a better job, basically placing it on finances. And in one of his confessionals, he said that he doesn't believe in one true love. Why are you in a monogamous relationship holding on to this woman knowing that you believe that? And she just sitting there kind of laughing about it. I'm like, he's telling you right here that, you know, he doesn't believe in marriage, so to speak. So pretty much she says she's only dated him. I don't believe in marrying your high school sweetheart without y'all taking a break from it at some point and living your own lives separately, whether you dating someone else or whatever. I feel like y'all should live life separately and experience the world a little bit on your own individually before you just hop straight into a marriage. Because I can't tell you how many people I know that were high school sweethearts. They got married and their marriages just didn't last, and they just are these divorcees at 22, 23, 24, 25 because they didn't really experience life. They're having this FOMO when they see other people going to college, dating, you know, traveling and being single and, you know, all this other stuff. They feel like they missed out because they've been locked down with this one person ever since they were children. And also, when you're with that same person, y'all are both growing, but who's to say y'all are growing in the same direction? who's to say that your growth is not going to take y'all apart? And so that's why I think it's important to experience life on your own and grow on your own, because you're constantly worried about this other person without being able to focus on you and what you really want. Next, let's move on to Kat, who's 27, and Alex, who's 31. They've been together for 2 years. Alex claims that he hasn't proposed to her yet because they travel so much and he's been busy. Y'all can go to the courthouse and get married. So I'm gonna need a better excuse than that. Alex is very evasive. He deflects a lot. He, sidesteps his true feelings a lot. And Kat is very passive and allows him to basically steamroll over her without giving her real answers. He asked her, why do you want to get married? And she basically poured out her heart and, basically expressing this unconditional, undying love that she has for him. And then she asked, why don't you want to get married? And he's just like, well, I'm too logical and it's hard for both of us to express ourselves. Like, he just didn't have any sort of love in what he was saying. I don't think he really cares about her. I don't even know why he's in this with her other than to rule over her. I think he enjoys that part of it, but does he really truly care about her? I don't know. I haven't seen it. And meanwhile, poor Kat, she's so timid and afraid of confrontation that, I don't know, it almost feels like she's on the verge of tears every time you see her. She's like kind of looking sad and kind of shaking a little bit. I'm just like, this poor girl. And he's taking full advantage of that. Next, let's move on to Ria, who's 24, and Trey, who's 28. They've been together for 2 years, and he's the one who is issuing the ultimatum to her. He said that he's set financially. They already live together. He's had a great example with his parents. They've been together 30 plus years, and he knows that in a relationship you have to choose to love each other every day. On the other hand, Ria has never really seen healthy marriages. She was raised by a single mother, and she just didn't really see how a marriage could be successful in her life. I also really do feel like they're just at two totally different points in his life. He's a little bit older, 28. He's, closer to 30. He's ready to settle down. I feel like Ria is 24 and she still wants to live her life a little bit more as a single person, traveling. She's not ready to be locked down and be a stay-at-home mother. Like, he's very much settled in his career and she's still trying to figure out what she wants to do in life. I mean, she works at Hooters, so like she's still figuring things out. Once again, I feel like she doesn't really know what she wants because it sounds like he's taking care of her, taking care of all the bills, but she also says she wants to take care of herself. Then contribute, get your own place, do that. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that would make a big statement because you like that he takes care of you. I don't know, I feel like she contradicts herself a lot. She also brought up the fact that she's not sure if she wants kids. I feel like he's so focused on marriage and wanting to get married and wanting to settle down that he's not paying attention to the red flags. She said she's not even sure if she wants to have children. And pretty much he for sure wants to have children. I'm like, that's a deal breaker. Like, are you not paying attention to what she's saying? She also said in one of her confessionals, she wonders if her soulmate is still out there. So clearly, she doesn't think that he's her soulmate. At one point, they talk about him trying to do something romantic for her. He laid out candles lining the hallway, lingerie on the bed, a teddy bear. And I ain't gonna lie, I can kind of see it from both sides, because if you lay lingerie on the bed, clearly the lingerie is more so for you, okay? You did give a teddy bear or whatever, had on the Beyonce or whatever, but that's more so for you. But on the other hand, she was just saying, oh, I didn't like it because I've seen better on TikTok. And so that's where I really realized she was super childish, because what? And after that, he never did another romantic gesture because she was so unappreciative of it. And I feel like it's all about tone. It's all about how you say things. At least let him know, I appreciate you taking out your time. I appreciate the effort. I appreciate all of what you did to put into this, but next time tell him some other things that you would like, okay? But I think her main issue was that she couldn't post it on TikTok and get the likes that she wanted. That's what I got from it. So pretty much I don't even think Ria is ready to get married, to be honest. Let's move on to Lisa, who's 31, and Brian, who is 28. They've been together for 2 years, and she is giving him the ultimatum. She's saying that she's doing this because she needs for him to feel like he can lose her. His excuse is just like many of the other men. He wants to make sure that he is set financially. She is letting him know that her biological clock is ticking and she wants to be married before she has kids. And also there is that age difference. Even though it's 31 versus 28, which is not a huge age gap, once women hit our 30s, we know it's only a limited amount of time left that we have to have children. I think by the time you hit 35, that's when it starts being called a geriatric pregnancy, and that's where you're more at risk for having complications and things like that during pregnancy. So women, we are very hyper aware of our biological clock at this point in life. So I understand where she's coming from with that. I also feel like a lot of women rush into having children because of this and choosing the wrong man, choosing the wrong partner, even though the red flags are there. You're trying to force it because I don't want to start over, because that's going to take even more time for me to get to this child. You know what I'm saying? And this family that I want so bad. And it causes you to rush a bad decision. And I feel like that's a little bit of what's going on here. When he brought up finances, she told him finances are not a problem because I got money. I'm a 6-figure chick. She also said that she wants to get a house, but she doesn't feel comfortable because they're not married yet. And he basically was like, well, I'm not getting married just to buy a house. At some point she asked, like, do you think I'm the one, or something like that? And he was very hesitant. He was one of the men that couldn't believe there were other men in this situation actually giving the ultimatum. I just don't see the love coming from him. And honestly, I don't really see the love coming from her either. It's more like, I hate to say it, but it feels like desperation. It feels like she wants to own him in a way. She kind of plays like toxic games. And at some point she is crying and threatening to leave. It just seems like it came out of nowhere, because they had this calm conversation and all of a sudden we see the security footage of them in bed and she's threatening to leave and crying and going through all the motions. It's like, where did this come from? It felt super dramatic for absolutely no reason. The next time we saw them, he's like, well, you know, we're going to be dating other people, so you need to work on your reactions to me talking to other women. And it's like, how many situations have you been in like this? Like, and what has happened for him to have to say that? The way he was describing it, she was coming off as like this crazy, jealous lover. And all of her conversations with him just was giving soap opera and dramatics. Like, she was doing the most. And y'all, that was just the tip of the iceberg. We gonna get to it. So then these people break up with the partners that they came with and begin to like speed date one another. It's crazy because when Ryan came out, I didn't even recognize Ryan. I was like, who is this girl? She looked completely different when she took them glasses off and put on some makeup. I was like, okay, Ryan. I was not mad. She was like, I'm about to pull me one today. We see various people connecting. Rox is connecting with Alex because they're both like workaholic type of entrepreneurs. We see Ryan and Trey connecting because they're both from South Carolina. They give you that country hometown feel. We also see Trey and Lisa connecting a little bit, and objectively they really do seem like they would be a good match for each other, low-key, if she didn't have such toxic ways. And then Ria, she's having a little connection with James. They're trauma bonding, low-key, over the fact that they had single mothers that were somewhat absent. And then we see Ria and Brian connected. I feel like those two were the most physically attracted to one another. Their connection, they try to act like they had so much in common, but I didn't hear none of that. I think it was just straight up lust. I think both of them were just like moths to a flame to one another because they were attracted. They liked what they saw. And Lisa could not take that. Lisa, why did you come here? Why did you bring this man here? Did you know what this experiment was about? Because it's not like you're just going to watch him date someone else. He's literally moving in with someone and living with her. And you can't even take this man sitting down and having a conversation. They not touching each other. They not in each other's face. They literally are just having a conversation, and you completely lost your mind. Like, she was watching them from across the room. First of all, before they even sat down and talked, she pulled him to the side, once again had this whole Tyler Perry melodrama, crying about not being able to take him dating other people and all this other stuff, even though you're the one who brought him here. He calms her down, dries up those tears, and then he goes and has a conversation with Ria. She's literally across the room. I can't take it. I'm going over there. I just can't take it. I gotta go over there. Go find Trey and talk to him. First of all, I would never do this. But if I were to do it, I would never let you see me sweat to that extent. I wouldn't let the girl think that she had me sweating. And I thought the whole point was to show him that he could lose you. But clearly, he got you wrapped around his finger. And he didn't even have to do nothing. Because I ain't gonna lie, in the beginning of this, I thought that Brian was just completely gaslighting her and just being manipulative and doing things to make her crazy. I don't think he has to. I think she's already there on her own. She was like really rude to Ria. She went over and went off on Ria, told her to get up and go find her man. Okay, starts going off on him, causing a scene. I mean, when I tell you she caused a scene, she literally mushed his head in front of everybody. I'm one of those people, I don't think anyone in a relationship should be putting their hands on each other. I don't care if it is like a little mush. That's disrespectful. And I feel like it was so wrong of her to do that, especially in front of everybody, especially on TV. Like, the man didn't do anything wrong. Like, it's not like he was cheating on you. Y'all are technically single. Are you not embarrassed? Like, where is your pride? My pride wouldn't let me get to that extent. Behind closed doors, maybe. But that's it for episode 1. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this show so far. I would love to hear your opinion. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in my next one. Peace.